So in this video, we are going to use the new shape builder tool to create the node logo. Make sure you use Inkscape 1.3 or latest to follow this tutorial. Alright, here we are on the Inkscape interface. First of all, we want to create a perfect square by using the rectangle tool over here. And now hold Ctrl plus Shift to create the perfect square like this. And you want to have the sharp corner. And we want to get rid of the fill by pressing this X on the color palette. Mine is already selected, and as you see, the fill is set to none on the status bar over here. And make sure you set the stroke into black color by holding Shift and click on the black color over here to set it to the black color. Alright, and now we're gonna set the size, which is 100 by 100 pixels. But we want to keep the proportions, so turn on the lock to keep the proportions and just type in 100 to have 100 pixels. And now it's a bit small on our screen, of course, so hold Control and drag it in on the mouse wheel to zoom in. And now we want to set the specific width of the stroke. So go to the object, fill and stroke, and under the stroke style tab, you see the width is already set to 10. So make sure you set 1. And the next thing we want to do right now is we want to create a circle. So by using this ellipse/arc tool, hold Control plus Shift, turn on the proportions to create the perfect circle. Want to have the circle is the half size of this square over here, which is 50 pixels. So let's set to 50 pixels of the circle over here. And now want to set the specific positions on relative on this square over here, which is I'm gonna snap it over here. If it doesn't snap, make sure you turn on the snapping, and make sure under the nodes hierarchy you want to turn on the path, custom nodes, the smooth nodes, and other joints, and make sure the object midpoints is set on this tutorial as well. Make sure you turn on all of that. Alright, now because we already snapped it over here, so hold Control and drag it upward like this. Want to have this bottom part parallel to this line over here, but it's kind of hard to eyeball it, and we need to be precise. So press Ctrl plus R to bring out the ruler over here, and I'm gonna hold left click and drag in the horizontal line over here, and I'm gonna hold Control and move it upward like this. So we have some precise precisions to put up the positions on the circle over here. And we don't want the horizontal line again, so I just left click on the ruler and it's gonna bring out, so it's gonna get rid of the line. If you want that again, just left click on it like this. Alright, now we want to add like a line over here that is connected to the circle, because as you see on this reference over here, we have the line is connected over here as well as over here. And as you see the circle as well, it's not really like a circle. It's gonna have like a line just moving through with the square over here. So that's what we want. So the way to do that is we need to add like a line using the pen tool or the Bezier curve tool. And I'm just gonna left click and click it over here, and I'm gonna left click on this until it snaps like this, and I'm gonna press right click to add the line and back to selection tool, and make sure the color of the stroke is black and the width is 10, just like before. So press Ctrl plus D again, and I'm gonna rotate it 90 degrees with this icon over here, and I'm gonna snap it over here. And I have to remind you that the end cap, it should be the butt cap, not the square cap, because as you see, both of them set to square cap, which is we have this kind of corner that we don't want it. So make sure to select both of them, and the cap is butt cap, so we have a clean passage like this. Alright, now we want to get rid of this part of the circle. The way to do that is by using the Bezier curve again, and make sure you snap in the middle like this. Left click it, hold Control and drag it outside the circle downward. Right click to apply the line, and left click on the middle part again. Hold Control and drag it to the right this time until it's outside the circle, and right click again to apply the line itself. So back to selection tool, hold Shift and click on the circle go to the path, cut path, and now we have this part of the circle over here which we don't want, so get that and just press delete on the keyboard to get rid of that. Now we have this object over here, so select all of them except the square circle, Control plus D to momentarily group them, and I'm gonna press Control plus D to duplicate them. I'm gonna flip this object over here vertically and move it downward like this. And I'm gonna select both of them again, Control plus D, and flip it horizontally, hold Control until it snaps, until the line is parallel on each vertical as well as horizontal, like this. Alright, now we have this object over here that is pretty much done, and if you see on the reference, you'll notice that we have this kind of X mark in the middle of the logo, and we want to create it right now. So the way to do that is by using the rectangle tool again, and now I'm gonna left click and drag it like this just to have the initial shape, and we want to have a maximum corner radius of this rectangle. So we have this corner over here, which is this square nodes, and circle nodes. We want to have the circle nodes and just drag it downward until it's maximum on the corner. And then we want to have a specific dimensions with this, and the height is going to be 37.5. And for the width, it's going to be the width of this object that we already created before, which is 180 pixels. We're going to add that 180 like this. And we want to set it in the middle of this object right here. So hold shift and click on the square that we've created before. And we want to open up the Align and Distribute panel by going to the Object, Align and Distribute. And on this Align and Distribute panel, you want to set the relativity to last selected, and make sure it's set in the vertical as well as horizontal axis, so it's perfectly in the middle. So let's select this object again, Control plus D to duplicate it, and now we rotate it 90 degrees like this, so we have something like this. And you want to select everything and just Control plus U to ungroup everything and select it again, and we have this kind of arrow over here, and if we hold Control and drag down like this, it's gonna rotate it in the 15-degree increment, and you want to rotate it until it's upward like this. Now as you see, our logo is pretty much done, but it could be better with some shadow, and the shadow is act as a negative space for the logo, because as you see, the logo over here, we have this kind of negative space, which is what we want essentially, and that's where the shape builder tools comes by. So the way you do that is you want to select everything on this one, and then ungroup everything, make sure there's no group on them. And I think the snapping is kind of getting in the way. And now you want to go to the path, stroke to path, to get rid of everything that is a path, because as you see, the fill, we don't set the fill before, but the stroke is act as the fill. And if you go to the nodes tool over here, you'll notice that the nodes is already sits outside of the object. So that's what we want. And now we want to press Control plus D to group everything, and hold Control and drag it to the right a little bit like this. And for differentiations, I'm gonna use the blue color like this, and hold shift and add the blue color like this to add the blue stroke color. And I'm gonna press X to get rid of the fill again, and this time I'm gonna set the width of the stroke into 10 pixels again. And just like before, I'm gonna go to the path, stroke to path, so the stroke is act as a path as you see. And now I'm just gonna momentarily Control plus G to group them, as well as this one, Control plus G to group them, and I'm gonna select both of them. I'm gonna align them on the vertical as well as on horizontal axis. And now I'm gonna hold Control and roll up the mouse wheel to zoom in a bit, and I'm gonna get rid of the ruler because we don't need it anymore. And now I'm gonna select this one, this blue object, and I'm gonna make it to the bottom so we can clearly see what we are doing at this moment. And now it is the moment that we are waiting for, which is the shape builder tool. So let's select both of them, and on the shape builder tool, let's do that. And as you see, it's a bit daunting, isn't it? A bit daunting, a bit scary. And we want to use the mode, which is the add mode, just the add mode. And as you see, on this object over here, there's so many line and units and everything. But essentially, when it comes to the node logo designs, the node logo designs is basically just a rope that is being knotted. So let's make a flow over here, which is starting from this one. We have this other one, the middle part, the inside, and this space over here. The space, we don't want that. All right, this one as well as this one. We don't want that. We just want in the middle like this. And let's add the space like this, and as well as this one. And here's what I said when it comes to shadow or the negative space. As you see, we have the space over here because we want to have a smooth ride on the track, right? On this logo over here. So this smooth ride over here, turn the corner and ducks under this line over here. So we don't want to fill in because this fill in is gonna act as a shadow or dark under. So dark under here, move the line over here like this, move this, and when it comes to the line over here, you know, dark under, and just back out to the top like this, and here as well. As you see, it's on the middle part, dark under, back to the middle part over here. So act as a rope. You just imagine a rope that you have and just move it along to make a knot like this, dark under, and move it like this. And if you zoom out, we have a shape like this, which is, you know, what we essentially want. And let's work on the middle part over here. So let's add the other part as well first, like this. And we need to be careful of this because it's really intricate in the middle. Because as you see on the preview over here, you'll notice that we have this intricate part which is in the middle, and it's really hard to come by. So we need to be careful of that. So the way you do that is by just examining a bit by bit like this. I'm gonna add this one as well as this one again, this unit and this unit again, this unit, which is basically just this part is come by like this. So they're gonna be dark under this line over here as a whole. So want to have this line over here move forward slightly, then this one over here, and this line over here is gonna move slightly over this line over here, like this, and this one on this one, and this one finally on this one. And now you just add more like this. Just add more like this. And yeah, that's how the design look, isn't it? And it's kind of hard to see because the contrast is not really that great. So we find some hard time to understand how the design looks. So you can do that by pressing Ctrl+B to open up the border, and we have this monitor icon over here that says display icons. You can toggle the display modes into an outline or outline overlay. Outline overlay it's pretty good. Enhancing lines, and yeah, basically just I think normal mode is pretty good, to be honest. So yeah, just normal is okay. It's better than nothing, I guess. So make sure you have some the modes that you want. I think the normal mode is fine. And once you happy with the result, and the result I think is awesome, so you can click finish on that. And as you see, we have our logo design done. So as you can see, it's going to be an individual object, and to finalize it, you select everything, go to the path, union, you know, to make everything the way it is. And yeah, essentially your logo is finally done. But just some reminder that the shape builder tool is on its early stages. For the first time in Inkscape, we have the shape builder tool, and if you go to the nodes tool, you'll see that we have this bunch of nodes around, and that's the caveat or the cons of the shape builder tool at this moment. The shape builder tool is awesome in Inkscape, of course, but unfortunately that's how it is today, and we can expect better for. And of course, it's going to get better. It's going to get better, and we can of course just select this line over here and just delete it. Take this line over here and just delete it again. We can do that, or you can just press Ctrl plus L to simplify everything. But unfortunately, the algorithms not really work well on that, apparently. So yeah, you can just select this one and just delete it like this. But maybe the shape is not really desirable. But with the new algorithm of the shape rendering, it's gonna be like this at the moment. So yeah, just to remind you guys, just to let you guys know that the shape builder tool is awesome, but it's got its caveat at the moment. So that's how you utilize the shape builder tool to create the Node logo. It takes skill and experience to use it, and yeah, let me know what tutorial in the future for you guys. And as always, thank you for your time.